Good morning, ladies, and welcome to another vlog. This week, I wanted to share something with you guys that is something I think that a lot of us struggle, which would be working out again after a break or just start working out. And for me, it's starting working out again after a break because if you don't know, a month or so or a couple of months ago I was laid off from my previous job. And then I spent 1.5 months looking for a new job, and I got a new job, so I started a new job, and I also have some freelance projects here and there. So I was handling a lot in my life, and I decided that I could not pressure myself anymore and pressuring myself to go to the gym as well. So I decided to take a little break, which is nice. I think it's actually a very healthy thing to do, and I recommend it to you. Like, if you're handling a lot and going to the gym is becoming something overwhelming, you can have a little break. But what happens next? When I wanted to go back to working out again with my regular schedule, like I was running 3 times a week, and I was trying to go to the gym three times a week as well. I had no willpower. It has been already 2 or 3 weeks that I've been repeating myself every morning in my head. Oh, I wasn't supposed to go to the gym, but I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. And I never go. And I think that that's something that happens a lot, and that can be happening to you as well. I wanted to share about it, okay? So we can go together and we can start together going to the gym and working out, or doing any kind of sport, like you do you. At the end, what we want is movement for our body and being healthy. So what I actually did today to wake up was going out to sleep early, like forcing myself to be in bed around 11, which is not that early. I should have been in bed earlier, whatever. And leaving my outfit for the gym already ready. So this morning I didn't have to think about anything, just wake up, put it on, and go outside. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to the gym. Remember, also important thing, our main goal today, it is not doing the best workout of our lives, is getting back into the habit. So what we're looking for here is going physically to the gym. I do not care if you do like 3 exercises or 2 exercises or whatever. Just go there and get the habit of getting out of your bed and going to the gym. Or if it's in the evening, just going there, because at the end, I think that the problem is not what you do in the gym. The friction that we have when we want to start working out and when we cannot is the act of going there. So our main goal today is going to the gym, and then let's see what we do there. So, well, that was it for now. I'll now start going, otherwise it's going to be too late. All right, girls, let's go. girls, we've made it. I went to the gym and I actually did a workout, so I'm very, very happy. I hope you find the courage and the willpower to wake up and go to the gym as well. Just let me know in the comments. Now I'll go and have a shower and get ready for work. I didn't push it too much at the gym. It wasn't actually a bad workout, but I did less reps and less weight that I would regularly do. Otherwise, tomorrow I'm going to be completely useless. So tomorrow I actually want to go out and run a little bit. I don't have any higher goal. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, because tomorrow we are going out of Barcelona with the job, like in my work, all of us, all of the company. We are doing a team building. Let's see how it is. And so I don't know if I'll be able to go earlier. No, like maybe I just want to preserve some of my energies. Let's see. Well, for now, I'll just go have a shower and get ready for work. Adios. Hello there. Sorry for my voice. I just realized that I haven't spoken to anyone today. And it's 5 p.m. So it is Saturday already. On Thursday, I was talking to you and sharing about going to the gym for the first time and sharing how I would have liked to go to the gym on Friday as well, or well, going out and run. But on the company, like in my job, we were doing a team building, so we had to meet earlier. Plus, I was feeling a little bit sore, so I decided just to rest, take a coffee that morning, and go to the office and meet everyone, and then we took a bus and spent the day outside. It was very nice. Today I'm taking this Saturday very slowly because this is something that I want to share with you guys. I have been doing some research about health, my health situation right now, on ChatGPT, based in science, just from science databases, just to make sure the information that I would get is actually true. And it's given me a lot to think about. Now I'll go to the gym, and when I come back and have a shower, I would like to sit down with you and tell you a little bit about what I found out, as I think it can help other people. I'm going to share it with you guys. Alright then, I'll see you after the workout. Hello ladies, so it is actually Sunday. I did not come back after the gym because I just was tired and wanted to rest a little bit. But I went to do some grocery shopping, and now I'm going to cook for the week. And meanwhile, I'm going to talk to you about what I was telling you yesterday about the health situation. So to give you a little bit of context and where I'm starting from, maybe you can relate to my situation, maybe you cannot, but you have something similar going on. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of context. Got endometriosis. This journey has been quite frustrating because I've got endometriosis, but I've spoken to other girls with polycystic ovarios. Oh my god, I don't know how to say that, but ovario poliístico. And we struggle a lot with hormonal therapy, and we are trying to look for some alternative, and the frustration comes when your doctors do not offer any other alternative. What happened to me is that a year ago or something, I decided that I would quit my hormonal treatment because the effects that I was getting from it were affecting my life. So I decided I needed to stop. I even have like a private health insurance. It's not always the public one that I go to. And even then, they wouldn't pay attention to what I was saying. Like, look, this is giving me like very huge secondary effects that I do not want to endure, because I was completely apathic. And I was trying to tell them, like, please give me some alternative, and they were not giving it. So on the other hand, quite a few years ago, there was an event in my life that caused me a lot of stress. And since then, I started developing a kind of eczema or skin reaction to when I have spikes of stress. And this is very uncomfortable, because if I not treat it, like with some pomadas or creams or however you say it, it will get very itchy. And honestly, it's quite terrible, because it's not only itchy at the point that sometimes I cannot sleep, but the skin sometimes tears apart, and I don't like the aspect of these things, so I'm very shy when I have to show my hands. So there are two things there, endometriosis and this thing with my skin. I don't know what to do. And I've gone to doctors every time that I've gone, and they give me no solution, which is frustrating. And as I have said in another vlog, this past year I've started feeling anxiety for the first time. Three main things about my health situation: this endometriosis, the irritations in my skin, plus anxiety. All right, this is the situation. One option for anxiety would be going back to therapy, which I have done in the past, and I think it's very useful. But as I know some tools, because if you go to a right therapist, you're going to learn some tools that you can actually use to regulate yourself without being dependent on going to therapy. Anyway, it's a thing that I'm considering, but it's not too severe. Although it's an option that is there. I'll explore it in the future. But for the other two issues, endometriosis, the only thing that I can currently do is take a lot of painkillers every time that I'm going to get my period, which is alright because I can navigate my period, but at the same time, it is not healthy, like the amount of painkillers I have to get in order to be a functional human being during those days. Literally, I get stuck in bed and I cannot move. And let's not talk about the premenstrual symptoms that I have. So yeah, that's one thing. And then the alternative with my skin was like just applying these creams, which help me like recover my skin again. But the thing is that in any of these things, I'm actually addressing the root of it. Okay, so this weekend I decided that it was time to do actually something about it. As I said, I'm going to be cooking. Maybe sometimes I'm going to move from the frame, but I have to wash these potatoes. I'm peeling the potatoes. So as I was saying, this weekend I decided to do a little bit of research about this because I had a feeling about something that got confirmed after my research. So what I did was talk to ChatGPT. I've got the paying subscription, so I can do deep search and look in the internet. And I use it a lot for work, and I've learned how to use it properly and how to ask it to look only to medical studies. I talked with ChatGPT for 20 minutes, like it was a long conversation in which I described exactly the endometriosis situation, the skin situation, the anxiety situation, sharing what I think that my triggers are, what am I doing to palliate some of these situations, talking about my habits, the job that I have, the mental state that I'm right now. I gave a lot of information about me, like a lot of detail, something that doctors, they do not even have time for you to listen to you because they only have like 10 minutes appointment time for each person. And then asked to do a deep research, which is a different feature, but it gives you like a an amazing output. And what I asked is, look at the literature about endometriosis or these skin things and stuff, and analyze at what point I'm at, what treatments are there available, and especially look at the causes of it, and if there's anything that I can do in my day-to-day life in order to reduce or kind of solve some of these symptoms. Endometriosis is a chronic disease in which endometric tissue grows out of the uterus. I don't know. Utero. I don't know how you say that in English. And it provokes an inflammatory state, okay? Which causes pain, and also you are more prone to have allergic reactions, which kind of explains why every time that I have like a mosquito bite or a spider bite or whatever, I get like huge flares, all right? And that is something that I knew it caused pain, but I didn't know it caused like an inflammatory state in my body that affected other areas of my life. So that's one thing that I discovered, the inflammation. Ahí va. Okay, let me get the pan. Regarding the skin irritations, it is mainly triggered by stress or anxiety that cause also inflammation in your body, and I am already inflamed, so it's easier for me to get it, and also by the contact of my skin with some things like some kind of shampoos or the soap for the dishes. But the thing is that the more inflamed that your body is, the more prone you are to get this kind of skin irritations. And then we come to the third issue, which is stress and anxiety. Something that is going to maybe sound obvious, maybe not, is that stress and anxiety also provokes a state of inflammation in your body. And the more inflamed that you are, the more sensitive that your body is going to be to pain. So the more stressed that I am, the more pain that I will probably feel, because I have endometriosis, so I'm going to feel a lot of pain. And as I am feeling pain, I'm going to be stressed about the pain that I'm feeling. So you're seeing it, right? It's like a cycle. Like it's all connected. And sometimes like my digestive system is not feeling that great, and at some point I struggled as well with digestion. I had to go to the nutritionist in Italy. We were seeing if I had some irritable bowel syndrome. Yeah, that was the thing that I could have, and that maybe I have. But we did a treatment with probiotics, and it helped a lot. Endometriosis creates in me a state of inflammation. Stress and anxiety do too. And the more inflamed that I am, the more pain that I'm going to feel during endometriosis or during my periods because of endometriosis, and also the more often that I will get these irritations, or the more sensitive that I'm going to be to anything in my skin. So that was already an aha moment. Like I did not expect all of it to be connected, also with my gut and my stomach issues. And of course, in this deep search that I did, I asked ChatGPT to give me some tips of what I could do in my life in order to improve the situation. And what it told me, a part of an anti-inflammatory diet, which would be the Mediterranean diet, and I already eat that way, it recommended me some supplement that I could add to my diet. The other thing that made me think and reflect a lot was rest. It explained to me how rest affects the inflammation state of your body. So the recommendation that it gave to me was doing a sleeping hygiene routine, which means trying to go to sleep every night at the same time and waking up at the same time and getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, which I do not do. And the third one is sports and working out. Okay, cleaned. So this third recommendation was sports and working out, and it explained to me with details and everything how much sports, like working out regularly, affects to the inflammation of your body. Like it helps a lot to reduce inflammation, and that means that it helps a lot as well with stress and anxiety. So yeah, like working out helps, and the more muscle that you have, the better for you. I was actually quite surprised. Why? It hasn't been until last year that I moved back to Barcelona that I started feeling anxiety for real. Like before I could say, oh, I'm a little bit anxious, but no, it wasn't anxiety. It wasn't until this year that I actually started feeling it in my chest. I started getting it more or less 1 year ago or some months ago. And if I do the maths, it was the same time that I moved back from Italy to Barcelona. That it wasn't only managing all the changes going on in my life, but I also stopped working out. Because while I was living in Italy, like just before moving back to Barcelona, I was working out like 8 times a week. Yeah, that's a lot, but I used to go to the gym like 3 or 4 times to do some strength training, and then I had a lot of fun doing my pole dancing classes, and I did quite a lot of them, like for a week or something like that. I think like my nervous system was very happy about it. Sometimes I was a little bit tired, of course, because it was a lot of effort and movement, but I didn't feel anxious. All right. And when I moved back, when I started my corporate job, I just didn't have time to go and work out. I stopped completely doing sports. Like I went from an average of 8 workouts a week to 1 or 0 a week, and just sitting the whole day in a chair in front of a computer in a new environment, away from my boyfriend, because my boyfriend hadn't moved yet. I moved here first. And I think that kind of might have fucked up my nervous system. And since then, it kind of escalated like a snowball. I started doing more stuff, like more freelance stuff, and not finding the time to work out until this weekend. The anxiety became an obvious problem for me. Let's put some salt, and let's put also some pepper. That's it. I felt mind blown when I realized that all of these things were correlated, like endometriosis, the skin irritations, and stress and anxiety, and also that not sleeping enough and not working out worsened the situation. It may sound obvious to some of you, but maybe for some of you it does not. But sometimes, or most of the times I'd say, like we think of sports as something we have to do just to be pretty, to look nice, to look skinny, to look toned. But we never think of it as a health thing, apart from being able to move your body. Okay, like we're not dumb, like we get that. But I think we are not conscious of the effect that working out regularly has on our mental well-being. And that surprised me a lot, because sleeping well and working out, it's going to help me with the pain of my period. Like I would have never thought of that. It was as simple as sleeping, working out, and it suggested me to go to therapy. The recommendation for endometriosis was going to the psychotherapist to manage stress and anxiety so the pain wouldn't be so bad, which was like, wow. And it suggested me like doing some yoga or meditating, so I will consider that and how to include that in my routine. Yes, guys, have you ever done like some sort of research on your own that has led you to some sort of conclusion that the doctors didn't give you? Because I've spoken with doctors for years and they wanted to give me more pills, but none of them suggested me sleep, workout, and eat clean. Like, none of them. This research that I did had an holistic view, and I think that what happens with doctors sometimes that they are so specialized in their own field. My therapist would have never suggested that stress and anxiety was affecting my endometriosis and the pain that I feel. And my gynecologist would have never suggested me to go and work out in order to improve the symptoms. Because it was they, not she, they just suggested going back to birth control. So this research has been relieving. It has led me to the conclusion that going back to the basics, which is sleeping well, having a healthy body, a fit body, working out, and meditating, feeling relaxed, feeling present, is what will work best and will address the 3 things that I'm actually facing. So yeah, I would love to share some of your stories, like what did the doctors tell you and what you have finally done or find out doing your own research. And of course, I'll try to keep sharing with you guys the habits that I start implementing. And yeah, I'll just try to share the journey with you, and I hope there's a point that I can tell you that I can navigate my period without having to take 6 painkillers a day just to be a functional human being. So yeah, I hope to read you in the comments. I really want to get to know you and your situation. And I'll now just keep cooking. I'm cooking for the week so I can bring healthy food to the office. That's it. I'll go to sleep early because apparently that's what my body needs to feel better. So sleeping, working out, and eating healthy. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.